Noodles are addictive, and I've been eating a lot of them the past couple of weeks. Today we're going to cover this basic noodle blueprint that I created to whip up great tasting noodles in about 15 minutes with whatever you have on hand. Hey everyone, I'm Ethan, a home cooking nerd who likes to find better ways to cook and share them with all of you. So I'll touch on some traditional components in this video, but this video is not about teaching you how to make a specific noodle dish from, say, Japan or Thailand or any of the amazing, regional noodle dishes out there. But instead, I want you to use this video framework and kind of blueprint as a inspiration for noodle dishes that you can create at home. Make them healthy, make them quick, make them fatty, or, it's just a great way to use up whatever you have in the fridge. So let's break it down. The noodle framework has 5 components. 1, choose your noodles. 2, prep the protein and vegetables. 3, the noodle sauce. 4, the cooking process, and finally, garnishes. So let's talk about those noodles first. From udon to vermicelli to fresh noodles, there are countless options that you could choose, and to this, I would say just run to your local Asian grocer and pick up some varieties. The 2 predominant families of noodles are those made from wheat or made from rice, but within that range, some are chewy, some are firm, some are thick, some are thin, some are earthy tasting. And if you want some more detail around specific types, just have a read through of the Serious Eats Asian Noodle Shopping Guide. Now, some noodles lend themselves better to certain preparations, but that's not what this video is about. I say just pick one. For my pantry, I'll typically have udon, soba, and spaghetti, which are the 3 noodles covered in Mastering the Art of Japanese Cooking. Udon are made from regular wheat flour and are chewy, while soba are made from buckwheat and are generally a bit firmer. And spaghetti is just the Italian classic, but this is actually a noodle used in Japan, according to this quote from Chef Morimoto. For today, I just decided to pull out the udon noodles and we'll walk through the cooking process in just a bit. Second up, we have to prep the protein and vegetables. This one is pretty self-explanatory. You can feel free to pull out some fresh food and marinate it, cook it, chop it up, whatever you want to do with it, but what I almost always do is just use up some leftovers from the fridge. Today, I've gone for some cooked chicken thighs and baby broccoli that I just cut up into pieces. The third component of the framework is to make the noodle sauce, and this is where things get fun. The noodle sauce you use is going to control the flavor profile of the dish. And here, take a look at these classic sauces from Thai pad see ew, Chinese dan dan noodles, and Japanese teriyaki sauce. There is typically some type of mix of salty, sour, and sweet ingredients, and all of these would be great for your noodles. For me though, I've kind of come up with an all-purpose noodle sauce that I keep in my fridge, which is just 2 parts soy sauce, 1 part black vinegar or rice wine vinegar, and then a half part of oyster sauce or honey or some other sweet item. Once you have this base though, you can season it with all sorts of things from this list. Now before you go and just try and add everything, I like to be a little bit intentional with what I choose. Maybe you just add sriracha and scallions to make those 2 components shine, but my personal favorite is storing the base in the fridge, then pouring it out into a bowl, and then adding a bunch of crushed garlic, a little bit of ginger, some sesame oil, and a pinch of Thai red chili flake for some spice. This combo right here is great on noodles, hot or cold. In addition to the noodle sauce, I'm going to mix 1 part cornstarch and 2 parts water in a separate bowl, and this will be used to thicken up the sauce a bit for hot preparations, but this is completely optional. Other than that, let's walk through the noodle cooking process, which comes together very, very fast. To start, bring a pot of water on to boil, and then I also like to add a little spoonful of miso paste, which is going to help flavor the noodles and the vegetables. Once the water is boiling, just cook them as the package says. In this case, mine is 4 minutes. Now, additionally, this is a moment where you can blanch vegetables if you happen to be using them, so I tossed in my sliced broccoli here. Once the noodles are cooked, drain them in the sink and then place the wok back on the stove over medium heat. And I just rubbed a bit of oil on the exterior. And to that, once it was hot, I crisped up the chicken or any other meats or vegetables that you may be using. Once the chicken was heated through, I turned the heat to low and add the noodle sauce to simmer. And then once that is simmering, let's just right away, I just slowly drizzled in a bit of that cornstarch slurry to help thicken it up a bit, which will make the sauce stick to the noodles and fillings. And also, if you do want this a little bit more saucy, just go ahead and add more noodle sauce, but you could always thin this out as much as you want to. Now, I think I generally prefer a hot bowl of noodles, but I would be remiss if I didn't tell you about cold noodles as well. For this, I just have some cold noodles in the fridge, then I tossed in a bunch of fillings. This one was cherry tomatoes, scallion, and shredded carrot. And then I just poured that all-purpose sauce in with that garlic, ginger, sesame oil, Thai red chili flake. Just use this framework however you want to for you. Back to our hot noodles though at the stove. Once the sauce is thickened up to your liking, you're just going to toss in the noodles and broccoli and then turn off the heat and stir to combine everything until it is evenly coated on the exterior. With the noodles served in the bowl, your last choice is to garnish, and you can feel free to use anything or nothing here. I decided to just toss some scallions on top of mine, and there we have it. This particular bowl of noodles clocks in at 680 calories and 40 grams of protein, which is a pretty solid, healthy meal for me and my goals, and this is a hefty bowl that is going to fill me up for many, many hours. Alright everybody, so hopefully you have enjoyed the video. Recipes for these two specific versions will be up on the website if you do want to follow exactly kind of the variations that I chose. But like I said, they're really quite easy. It's just the all-purpose noodle sauce with kind of those flavor additions that I like to use. And then, you know, this one's hot, this one's cold. We use soba, we use udon. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. That's going to wrap it up for me. If you guys make some noodles, send it to me on Instagram. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.